Hi, I'm Lexi.
And I'm Hamsata.
And I'm Jeanine.
And you're listening to WKNC 88.1 FM HD1 Radio.
Thanks for listening.
Still said T.
No,
Stop.
you didn't.
sounded good.
It sounded fine to me.
T.
You said
Oh, wait. Anyways, we're talking about forgiveness today.
Do you forgive your parents for terrorizing you all your life?
Okay, fine. We can start there. No, we can start there. Not terrorizing me all my life, but like forgiving my parents. Because,
Forgiving my parents for what they did to me during my childhood is
For the trauma.
So,
Y'all, hold on, because this might hate me. Now go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's some things I forgave them in parts, but overall, I forgave the way that I felt like they might have misparented. Once I came to the realization that these are literally people. Like, once I got out of the mindset of, like, these are parents, they live for me, and I was like, these are people trying their best. They're literally just big kids. Like, the older I get, the more I'm just like, these adults are just large children. Adults are just large children. And honestly, half of the time, the reason they don't do the things little kids do is purely out of tiredness.
That is so true.
They're just exhausted. They're tired. They've overspent. That's why you find some older people who, like, people want to say act like kids, act young. It's just because they either never or they got over that tiredness that is normally associated with becoming an adult. But I've come to the realization my parents are just large children. And after that clicked, I was like, amen, say man. They did what they could.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think like I have anything too crazy to forgive my mom for. I feel like my mom has kind of she's just been rolling with it. But I do know, I was thinking forgiveness. Why am I crying? I was thinking forgiveness more on like a large scale, but just every day for like, just like the little, you know how they argue with you? Because like, oh, I was in a bad mood and you said something and now I'm upset. It's forgiveness on those things. Because it's just, why would you try to be petty with me? And genuinely, like, you've ruined my day now. It's like forgiveness for those things. I think, like what you said, just remembering that they are little kids at heart and they're human. But at the same time, like, grow up. Grow up. I'm sorry, did you have something to say?
Yes. Before I release my statement, in order to forgive someone, what's the other side of it?
I've got this for you.
What?
There are 3 steps of forgiveness.
No, not to forgive. Not
That's why I was like, what are you talking about?
So, in order to forgive someone of something, there has to be like what? An issue or problem. That's what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
And then from that, you have to come to a forgiveness of what they've done, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was like my... Yeah, I don't know.
What you mean, I don't know?
I'm thinking it in the sense of like, I always think of everything it is what it is, you know what I mean? It's never like an issue or a problem. I just think of it as just my reality. Do you know what I mean? So like for me to forgive them, it's nothing to forgive because I never had like an issue or problem with it. I've just kind of been like, this is my life. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like there were things that I like, you know, wasn't the most like, why did this happen? You know, like I didn't know why they occurred. But like the older I get and the more I ask like questions or have conversations like with my mother and stuff, I kind of figure out the gappings with it, and it makes me better understand her and can see why things occurred the way they did. But I don't think I ever really have anything to forgive them for. You know what I mean? I feel like from what I understand, which may not still be correct, but from what I understand, you know, things just happened.
That's valid.
And that's just how I see it. Now, my parents, no. Now, can I speak on other family members? Some of them, no.
No, for real. I'm not gonna lie. Some people. Sorry, go ahead. Who's gonna talk? Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I will forever like my experience in Africa. I forever hold my uncle's wife responsible for me not enjoying it.
Ooh, no. There's just some people who, no offense to them, you're just not worthy for forgiveness, because it's more easier than just to move on and just act like it just didn't happen than to sit down there and try to hash it out and forgive. Like, it's really not worth some people's time.
And it's not anything I carry on me, though. You know, it's just like, I know, like, from the way things played out, she could have done a better job. You do know what I mean?
Somebody help!
And so I forever will not.
Janine's on the ground. Janine fell out of her chair. I wish y'all could see this. Oh my gosh. Y'all, Janine is dying. When you watch this.
But yeah, what was I saying? I mean, it's not like anything I hold like against her, like actively, you know?
Yeah.
But when I do remember that time, I'm just like,
why'd she do that?
So I have a question though. Because you guys are saying like you've moved past it. What? And okay, actually, let me address something that you said more specifically.
Okay, because I'm you're grouping me in with something that I'm not supposed to be grouped into.
You had said, like, you don't want to go through the process of having to hash it out. I don't believe that you have to hash anything out in order to forgive somebody.
I agree with Lexi.
I'm thinking like forgiveness in the terms of like, we're cool now. Like, we can be friends now.
Oh, you can forgive somebody and not be friends.
Oh, I know that. Are we? I'm talking about all definitions of forgiveness.
I'm talking about like the raw definition of like, I forgive you. I have set this free from like, that's, so when you said
like
hash out,
not necessarily
so like
conjunction
for like these situations, I'm like, do you feel like you've forgiven her for yourself at least?
Yeah, but I just haven't forgiven her for her.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Like, do you still hold resentment?
I can't really do that. That's just not me.
So it's just like,
I think I'm going to go through the 3 steps of forgiveness. I think this will help clear things up.
Quick question. Yes. If you saw her in person,
is it up and it's stuck, or is it just like cordial?
Yeah, is it like, hey, how are you? Or it's like, oh my gosh, okay, I don't think it'll ever be, oh my gosh, auntie, but it's just like, hey, how are you? Okay, cool, bye.
I do that out of plain respect.
Me too.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Out of like cultural stuff, like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But even apart from that, is what I meant to say. I feel like you don't even have, like, you can forgive somebody and still not have to go out of your way, be cordial. Like, you could still have them removed from your life and have them forgiven. It's just not in your best interest to have them around you.
Very much so.
Yeah. But let me go through the steps. So the first step is
step 1.
The release of someone from a duty or obligation. So
what
you're
the heck?
like,
I'm sorry, I keep on interrupting.
No, you're good. So it's like you're releasing them from whatever it is that the situation that happened or whatever. Like, that's the obligation, the situation that happened. So you're releasing them from that, and then having patience, self-control, restraint, and tolerance for them. And then on top of that, the last step is allow or enable to escape from the confinement. So you let the situation go. Like, you have your final departure.
Big words. Lots of big words right now.
Like,
okay, from what you're saying in my situation, I guess I have let it go. Because I also just don't keep it at the forefront of my mind. But when I do think about it, the more I think about it, the more I get, like, upset. And the more I'm like,
and that's fair,
you know,
but that doesn't,
like, the whole thing. Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My bad.
But yeah, I was going to say, like, I guess in that sense, forgiveness is done with it, the sentiments of that time.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I feel like getting upset with the situation and what happened is still valid, but that doesn't necessarily exclude you from forgiving that person. It's just the situation itself is still, like, upsetting, which is understandable. Yeah. So besides those people, is there anybody else that you haven't forgiven, either by choice or like you just haven't got to the point where you can forgive them?
Myself.
Yourself? For what?
I've done things in the past that they gonna think that I murdered somebody's daughter.
Yeah, I've done things.
No. On a more serious note, who can
I don't know. This right here says forgive. Stop feeling anger or resentful towards someone for a transparent mistake. I don't think I'll ever forgive David for the way he treated her. That was a sentence.
That's what I was.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
that's
so in that sense, like, you know, I don't think I've ever made peace with it. But also, I just don't like to think about it. Also, like, I just think of a situation. I haven't even thought of it in full like complexity. So I feel like it's still like some deep diving, thinking, reflecting, blah blah blah.
Got you.
That I just don't want to do.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, like resent.
I don't have
Stop
resent
feeling
towards nobody.
angry. I wouldn't say it's resent. I'd say it's more so like the anger of how I felt in those situations, and because it was inflicted by
her.
Yeah.
So, are you angry at the situation or her?
The situation was caused by her.
But that wasn't necessarily my question.
But yes,
I'm
both.
confused.
Both? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's been situations where someone has done something to me, and I know I've forgiven them because I'm not angry at that person at all, but I'm still angry about the situation.
You know, I
guess-
feel you.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm more so angry at the situation. It's more the situation than her.
Okay.
But because I know she caused it, it's like situation from it kind of goes down to her. But it's never like I'm angry at her, you know, but it's just more so it trickles down to her, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
You know, because I also don't do the whole anger, like,
Yeah.
it just frustrates me the way everything
Yeah.
just turned out. Like, every time I just think about it, I'm just like, ugh.
So it's like the frustration is not at her, but it's associated with her.
Yes. It's not actually at her. Like, I don't actually hate, like, I'm not gonna like,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
See, I get more like I don't have like anybody that I'm like, oh, I don't. To the point of like, oh, I'm angry at them. I don't have that. What I do is I get angry at the people who like hurt or do things to my friends. Because I don't know what it is, but I just tend to surround myself with people who are very forgiving. I guess it's a reflection of me or something, but they're just very forgiving, and they have a tendency to let people take advantage of them. So like, that's you.
No, I'm like, I relate to that.
Oh,
like, I
okay.
have a lot of friends like that. Yeah. That are like very overly forgiving.
Yeah, and like I see that happening. Like, it'll happen once with them, and like once is okay. Like, it's not okay, but like it's understandable. They will let go of it, and they will let them come back into their life. And because I'm in their life, I'm with them seeing this happen, and I'm still upset for them. Like, you know that person that we talk about that Hamsata brought up like at the beginning of the thing? The one that said go to their Instagram to see pictures of their of me and so.
Oh, the person I mentioned. Associated to Jeanine.
Yeah. That, you know what I'm talking about?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, them. The only reason, like, you're not the first person to come up to me and be like, yeah, I don't think you like them. And it's not that, like, I have anger or anything towards them. It's just, like, you hurt my friend when you did something, and I don't appreciate that. And they might have let go of it, and y'all are buddy-buddy now.
But I haven't.
But I see through all that BS. So.
So would you say, for you personally, you haven't forgiven her? Also,
Yeah, but it's not even for me because they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything to me. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, they did not do anything to me. But like, if you hurt my friend, you hurt me.
do you feel like you have the authority to give? Like, I feel like this is interesting because I feel like in situations like this, when you're like the friend of the person that got hurt, you have enough authority in the situation to be upset, but then you also feel like you don't have enough authority to forgive that person.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I'm currently in. And people are like, and like the person that got hurt is like, forgive them. Like, it's not like, it's fine. Like I did, which I also get, but I still can't get over the fact that they did something to you more than once on different occasions. And you have come back to me, and like it's minor things, but I feel like minor things start to add up.
Yeah.
And yes, they haven't done it in a while, which is understandable. I get that people change. That's completely understandable. And they're not an evil person. Like I have a like direct relationship with them, and like they've never done anything to me personally.
Right.
But also, I do not hang out with this person to the degree that my other friend hangs out with them. So I could not be seeing their full character.
That's also very true.
But I just feel like,
things that you're missing out on.
honestly, and I feel like regardless of what the case is, why would they do what they did, and why would they do it more than once?
Facts, bro. More than once is crazy.
More than
Yeah.
once?
Yeah.
'Cause-
Because they're doing you wrong.
Yeah. I feel like that's the same thing with me. Like, the people I feel like I haven't forgiven is people that have hurt my friends. Like, one of my friends has a friend, and they've been friends, like, kind of on and off. And it's funny because I had my own, like, the same kind of thing as you. I had my own relationship with them. I didn't even know they knew each other when I started becoming friends with the other girl.
I remember this story.
Really?
Not really.
No, go ahead. Continue.
I don't think it's that story.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why. This has happened to me a few times. But anyways, and she just said things to my friends and just did actions that were very nasty, and it wasn't out of malicious intent, but it was very malicious things. So I felt like it spoke on them as a character more than if she had done it on purpose. Because it was just like, the fact that you see nothing wrong with the things that you were saying or doing is insane to me. Like, this is stuff that, like, has made my friend cry. And they've, like, and I understand people, again, like, they change, they mature, da-da-da-da-da. I'm sorry. Personally, me, I got fed up because I was going along with her, like, forgiving, backing away, because at the end of the day, even though I had my own personal relationship with them, it got to the point where, like, I didn't really see them as much anymore, and my friend's relationship with her was stronger.
See, that's what happened to me too. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so I just got to the point where, like, I'm cordial, I'm nice, but if I'm being honest, I have not forgiven you for the stuff that you've said and done to my friend, because I think it's so volatile and messed up. Like, I personally, and even though I haven't forgiven them, I'm still able to be cordial to them, but I do hold that against them, and I would never recommend them as a friend to anybody.
See, I try to, like, separate it and be like, well, they've been good to me. They just haven't been good to my friend. But then I'm like, no, because my friend is me.
I've done that before.
I don't know. I think that's why, like, when it comes up in conversations, like, when their name is brought up, my face is like,
yeah.
Because I'm just like,
because it just all hits again.
Yeah, it's just like, can we please move on from this person?
See,
what are you going to say?
I've had those situations where, like, I feel like this one's different. I've had situations where two people I was friends with were, like, fighting, and they've either both done wrong, one's done wrong, da-da-da-da. And I've been able to separate it because the relationship they have with each other has nothing to do with the relationship I have with them as individuals. But because of this situation where, like, I started getting closer to them partially because I found out they were friends with my friend, and then I stopped hanging out with them, and I only hung out with them when I was with my friend, that's when I was like, I can't do this anymore.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. It wasn't really actually your
friend anymore, yeah.
Yeah, it never really was.
No, I would say we were friends because we used to hang out one-on-one by ourselves.
You didn't mention that. Okay.
But I'm saying, like, eventually I stopped hanging out with her, not because of that stuff, just because we grew apart. And then I only started hanging out with her because my friend was friends with her.
Okay.
But we were friends originally, like, just us two. Yeah. But I don't know. Because I feel like I'm a very forgiving person too. So once you get me to the point where I'm angry, like genuinely angry at you, the comeback from that is the steepest hill you can climb. That's not even 90 degree. Like, that's
I
agree
with
too,
that.
especially multiple times. Oof.
Like, what? Like, normally when I'm done with somebody, I'm done. Like, and that's why I get so confused and I start getting a little rude and less considerate when people repeatedly do wrong to somebody that's in my life and they keep forgiving them. I can't even be like, yes, I'm upset with them, but I can only get so upset with them because at some point you're just letting them back in your life over and over and over, and I can't do anything about that. Like, at this point in my head, you're choosing this pain. Like, you're actively choosing to get hurt.
That is true. I mean, there's also some, like, pushback on your friend also, because that is true. But also, I just take it as my friends are... I just take it as my friends are... They're just forgiving people, and I just feel like don't take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Like, don't take advantage of my friends.
But I don't know. I feel like that's kind of human nature. Like, if you can't take advantage, people tend to take advantage.
Yeah, but, like, still.
Yeah.
The point is, y'all are weird. Some of y'all are weird in this world.
I think, like, for me... Oh, go ahead with your question.
No, go ahead.
Friends that tried me,
Mm-hmm.
no, because like I've never stayed long enough for somebody to try me.
That's what I was about to ask. I was like, do you have any like deep connections with people?
Oh, 110%.
Okay. Like, oh no, yeah, because you do have like multiple friends in like the UNC system.
I do. I just have friends kind of all over. I talk to different friends on different frequencies as well. So like it really just depends on the person. But I haven't stayed long enough for somebody to try me, which I'm thankful of because I haven't really been in drama because I haven't been there long enough to be in drama. Like when I come to a new space, believe it or not, I'm quiet. I'm just literally just there. Like some people don't even know I'm there the first year or like the first few months. And then I slowly start making my way into the community and stuff. And then once I get like pretty heavily involved,
Jesus,
I'm only there for
I'm
like
so sorry, y'all.
maybe a little bit more and then I'm gone. Like so there's not really time for like drama. And I'm not a drama person too. So it's gonna be even more like difficult or longer for drama to even find me or to even occur.
That's so real. I'm so
really
anti-drama, anti-confrontation that if there is drama,
like
bro, it was
conflict.
not me.
I don't do conflicts. Like if it's just like a little yes, okay, cool, like to get it over with, I'll probably just do it. Like I just don't like conflicts. But I do like coming to an understanding. Like, I don't think everything has to be a conflict, but if you're trying to make it a conflict, I'll just step away.
Leave you.
You know what I mean? And if you're not somebody I value anyways, I'll just leave you to it. If you're somebody I do value, we'll come back to it, try to reapproach it, to hash it out because someone of value to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I like to like,
But that's
hash.
it.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that's it.
Okay. I like to hash things out on the spot. Like, I cannot stand people who are like, yes, I need time to process, but at least don't make me look crazy. At least agree with me that there's a problem here. I don't know. I just like, I like to, like, it happened. Let's think about it and let's get it done. Like, I don't want to take that with me to places that I go because if I'm beefing with somebody, like, I put that on my chest.
And how serious is the beef? You know, some beefs are just like not even worth, like, you know,
that's
it's just
true.
like whatever. But if it's weighing down on me or something like that, then I'm just like, okay, this is something serious. I take time to myself to see like how I want to approach it. And then I go in with that conversation and stuff like that. Usually me and the other person are already on the same side because if it's weighing down on me, it's kind of already serious.
That's valid.
Yeah, because honestly, once I forgive, like if it's a situation where I'm beefing with somebody, if I forgive them, then in my head, there's no more beef.
Right.
Like it's just, at that point, you're just a hater. If it's
Not a
like
hater.
if you still feel, yeah, because I feel like it's only beef if it's like the feeling's mutual. You know what I mean? But if it's like one-sided, you're just either like a hater or you just like drama or you're just immature. Like it's got to be one of those things. Because if we're beefing, then I'm at some point stooping down to your level. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I've never stooped down, but I don't like it and I don't stay there long because eventually I'm going to just be like, bro, what's the point?
It wasn't even worth it, you know?
Like nothing's getting moved, nothing's changing from this, so continue. I'll keep it in mind. It's not like we're going to pretend nothing never happened, but there's going to be that animosity that I might have felt towards you is going to be gone.
That's so real. But yeah.
Scrap.
Is there something that you haven't forgiven yourself for?
Yeah. I don't think I've processed it yet.
Jeanine, I'm going to need you to start processing these things.
Y'all, either y'all want me to process this stuff or y'all want me to get my A's. Which one y'all want?
Can you not do both while you're in the UK?
Oh, I'm going to get my A's, but that's because I'm not going to do school that much. But
So
yeah, I'm
you
going to do it in
have
the
time to
UK.
process?
I'm telling y'all, everything will be processed on my holiday, on my break. But as of right now, I haven't processed anything from this school year.
But even from before the school year, is there anything that like you haven't forgiven yourself for, or like even like survivor's guilt kind of things, or like
Oh yes, I recently realized this. I don't think I've forgiven myself for changing my accent. That one's kind of deep.
That's big. What do you think the process is to forgive yourself for something like that? Because I don't have any like perspective for that.
I said like just be more comfortable with it, but like it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot harder than that. And the only reason why I don't forgive myself for it is because my mom is like trying to, I can see that she's like trying to do what I did when I was 12. And I'm literally telling her like, don't do this BS, because number one, you're like in your 40s now. Like it's not worth it. You've lived there for 40 something years. What is the point of changing at this point? And I feel like a hypocrite because I tell her don't do that, but I did mine like 7 years ago. But the reason why I said I don't forgive myself is because I repressed a side of me that could have literally brought me so much joy if I had just learned to live in this world and embrace it.
I don't think you're, like, maybe you're a hypocrite for it, but not, I don't think it's as bad as you think, because you got to think a lot of parents, like, they'll go through stuff and then they'll tell their kids not to do it because they've been through it. So I feel like because you've been through it, you have the perspective to tell your mom it's not worth it.
Yeah. But still, like, I understand why she's doing it.
Yeah, but it's just, like, breaking your heart to watch.
Yeah, because it's just like you're 40-something. Like, it's different when you're 12 and, like, you naturally just pick up on what's around you as a child. But you're 40-something and I can actively see you trying to do it. And I was talking about this earlier with somebody. I was just like, I feel so bad for my mom sometimes because I can hear in her voice, like, she wants to change her accent. So then she, like, when she's speaking American English, she, like, has choppier words. And it sounds like she's, like, struggling to communicate. But it's like, no, like, she knows exactly what she wants to say. Because the moment we get home, sis is speaking in, like, I'm like, sis, slow down. Like, give me a minute to process. But then when we go out, like, she tries to dumb things down so people understand through the accent. And I'm just like, you do not have to do that. Like, if they don't get it, they don't get it. That's their fault. Like, next time, go abroad. Like, next time, expand your little American language barrier. Like, y'all act like y'all don't have accents. Y'all have accents. You just think that you're the standard.
Yep.
Yep. But yeah.
Is there anything for you, Hamsata?
Yeah, I'm steady.
The question was something I've never forgiven myself for, right?
I
I don't think so. Can't really think of anything.
I feel like mine's like small little things that build up. Like, I feel like a lot of past smaller decisions that I've made that ended up affecting me long term. And I probably could have foreseen they affected me long term, but I didn't let myself look at it that way. That I need to, like, I feel like I won't forgive myself until my habits change.
That's valid.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm still in, like, still making those stupid little errors. So it's just more me being mad at myself. And I feel like, you know, a little self-help stuff to be like, forgive yourself to move on from it. But honestly, I don't think I'm going to forgive myself for, like, these little these little decisions until I see the change in habit.
Are they like decisions you made recently-ish or like in the past or?
Both. I'd say in the past 3 years. Just like little decisions, because it's really like when I think about them as a whole, I think about how much further I could be in the things that I really want in life. And how I literally just like let myself not be the best I could be. So I guess that's the all-encompassing way of putting it. Like, I'm not forgiving myself for not reaching the potential that I know I had.
Oh, wow. That is kind of deep.
Yeah, and it's just upsetting to think about, because it's like I just think of small things I could have done. I'm like, I could be so much closer to what I want, and if I had done those things, I would actually be in such a better position where I wouldn't even have to work as hard as I'm working now and still be getting in better positions and be in a better place with less work if I had just made smaller decisions in the past that were better.
Do you think these were things that you had control of, or
they were
could
things
have
I had
foreseen?
They were definitely things I had control of, and they're things I could have. Some of them I foresaw, and I was just hung up in the moment. And then some of them is stuff that I didn't foresee because I wouldn't allow myself, because I wanted what I wanted in the moment. So it was just me putting my present self ahead of my future self too many times. Like, sometimes you have to put like your present body, your present whatever first, but I choose present self too much, and it affects my future self, and then I keep making those decisions because I'm in situations I don't want to be in because I didn't make those earlier decisions.
I think for me, it's like I make those same decisions, but for me, it's always what's present me feeling. And that's what I trump always, and I'm fine with that decision. Just because I think also like rear view, I always have like back end, like what future me wants to an extent. So it's like as long as it's not like the worst thing in the world, which it usually never is. Like, yeah, it's definitely putting me back a little bit or something, you know. But I don't know. I always have the thing of like, evidently I'm going to reach there. It's just going to be my journey, my path. And that's just what it's going to be, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just an experience. I don't know. For me, it's just like, I'm doing this. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I feel like I didn't get to the point where I had to even forgive myself until I realized that it was something connected to what you said. What was the last sentence you said?
Literally, all I remember was like, okay, cool. That's so bad. I was saying how I do, like, I relate to your sentiments. However, I just don't feel like they ever came to a point of like not being like holding it against me, because I'm just like, it's part of the journey, it's part of the experience. Those words, I think those might have been okay. Yeah.
I think I made too many small decisions to where I feel like I have messed up my journey, and that's why I got to the point where I need to forgive myself.
Your journey is messed up though. Like, isn't your journey being written as you're living it?
It is, but I just know my journey could have been. I think it's the gap that's messing me up. Like, maybe if I catch up to that gap or like start moving in that direction, that's when I'll be able to forgive myself. But I just know the gap is so wide between what could have been and what is.
Were these expectations that you had in place for your journey?
Yes.
That you're not reaching up to, that you're falling behind.
But I'm falling behind from my own choices. It's not like things didn't work out. It was like I chose not to do what I needed to do.
No, yeah, I got that part of it. This is why I don't set expectations for myself.
I'm so weak.
And I say that in the sense of like, I just don't like feeling let down at all. And when I do set expectations, I make them like bendable and not like defining. And when I do set them, I'm like, okay, I try to be realistic, one, but also let them not be defining, two. And with that, I feel like it's allowed me the flexibility of like, you know, trying to work towards something. Because I feel like expectations are still always good because it gives you something to work towards. But without me leaving sentiments of like, you know, oh, like really sad, or like sad of not reaching the things I wanted to, and realizing I worked towards it. You know, I put in some effort and I can appreciate what I've done for myself and stuff and move on with that. But I do see what you're saying. I don't know. I just don't have that forgiveness factor. I don't know if it's because I haven't done, like they add up is what you're saying. So if I get to that point, perhaps I'll get to that stage. But for me, evidently the end goal is going to get reached, and this is the journey I choose to go on.
Yeah. I feel like, I think that's where it is for me, because I think I'm like in a mindset where for the first time I started having doubts in me reaching my end goals.
Oh, see, when you start letting doubts hit you there, that's when you know you might have hit too many curbs. I see what you're saying. I think because my goal, I know it's very attainable regardless of the route. I'm just like, it's whatever. But I do know you have a little bit more like things that do need more alignment and more consistency, or they could be somewhat more difficult. You know, you never want to go towards the more difficult path.
Just even being like in STEM, or not even STEM, specifically engineering.
Yeah.
It's so accredited base, and like it is very grade, but like those things really like change a lot for your career as an engineer. So these years in college are very definitive and can make just an unsurmountable huge difference.
And you haven't been treating it as such.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know if it's I don't know. I think I don't
See, now I understand you. Like, now that ice has been broken, and I'm just like, whoosh. I'm just like, I see your
Yeah.
sentiments. I see why you feel the way you do.
Yeah.
And why you feel like you can't forgive yourself for some of the things you've done.
Yeah.
And I honestly feel like they're valid. They're very valid. I mean, regardless, they're valid. But like,
Yeah.
I see the validity in them now.
Mm-hmm.
And all I can say is
Yeah.
recognize there's still more to go. And that now that you have that knowledge and you have that want for those goals, just move in that direction, you know? And
Yep.
I always feel like things do work out in your favor as long as you put in that effort. I mean, realistically, engineer stuff, but
No,
you just know that you just can't play around as much. You probably
Yeah.
used all your free chances. And so now it's just like every stone has to be hit correctly, which kind of puts a little bit more pressure, I'm assuming, and makes it a little bit more tense than needed if you had like spread out your free chances more.
that. Everything you just said, gold. Liquid gold. That's exactly what's going on.
Nah, I feel like I've gotten to that point, definitely for myself as well. But I think it's also because at the end of the day, my career, you could still make it the back way.
Yeah.
There's still a back way and another back way and another back way.
And
So-
another.
But like for the
yeah.
path I'm choosing, I did use a lot of free chances, so I do have a little bit left. But I think the knowledge of the back way being accessible is still keeping me, I guess, calm and
Yeah.
more.
That makes
sound.
sense.
No, I feel that.
Ooh,
Now she
talk your
she lost
shit
the whole
to it. Talk your ish to
No,
it.
I feel that. I feel like I'm not taking finding an internship for the upcoming summer as serious as I said I would take it last year. Because last year I didn't take it as serious as I could. And I got lucky and lucked out with WNC. But I think that was God. I don't know if it's going to happen again. But I don't know. I feel like God is pushing me in one direction. But I don't know. I just feel like if I make that same mistake again and it doesn't work out, like I'm not going to forgive myself for that because like God literally gave me opportunities and I applied, but there's others that I could have applied for. And like dealing with that regret of like, dang, I should have done this. I should have done that. Dang, when it was right there.
Yeah. And it's like I was saying how the only way I feel like I'm going to forgive myself is if I either catch back up or I start working towards that direction of where I think I should be at this point. So until I start like continuously seeing success in that path, I'm not going to be able to forgive myself for making those dumb little decisions for no reason.
I agree with you for sure. Like, I think I haven't come to that full realization yet, but that's why next semester I'm taking it super serious. I want to take it so serious in the beginning because I know for me, it's just setting myself up.
Yeah.
If I have the right setup and the right things like in routine, I know the end is going to be like very attainable, very like easy, right? But it's the beginning that's always the most difficult. And I'm just like so serious about setting myself up and making sure I take those steps when needed to reach those goals in the end. And then, but if I have like another bad semester like I did this one, I think I may not be able to forgive myself for both of them.
Yeah.
Like one is bad, but two is terrible.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't do
Like,
this. That's why
it's terrible. Like, I
Bruh.
kind of did mess up first semester of two.
God.
But like, I don't
God,
know. It
I'm
wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Like, it was very like an easy bounce back. You know, it was like it's nothing compared to this one.
This one is
But
kicking our
this
butt.
one,
I'm
if
saying.
it repeats, like I truthfully,
I think I would be the cause of my own suffering. Like,
no, quite literally. And the thing is, I just don't want it to be like that. Like in my head, I'm like, girl, we might as well just drop out of this thing.
no,
real.
for
I've
real. Like, is
considered
that
that.
how we feeling?
This
so many
semester
times.
was the first time I seriously considered like
It's still like a funny
dropping.
hee funny ha ha, but like I still
We
like
getting closer to the
right, for sure. In the sense of like, I don't know if I'm really meant for college, but then I'm also like, I've put so much into this already that I feel like stopping now would be such a waste for all the energy and
would be,
effort I've
yeah.
already put in. And it's not even academic wise. I think it's outside of academics for me. The
Yeah.
academics thing, I could go to another institution perhaps or something.
Mm-hmm.
and knock it all out. But I really feel like it's the commitment and ties I've made to community here, the people, and the yes, that's what's really holding me back.
Me
I'm just
too.
like, and the ties to organizations and stuff like that. That's really what's like. Hamsata, you've done so much and put so much of your effort into this. It'd be such a joke for you to drop out and be like, I'm done. Like that's really what's kind of keeping me afloat. And that's why it's like I don't want to drop these things because they're what's keeping me going, but also they're hindering me. And it's just like finding that balance. That is just something I really want to strive for next semester. And that's why I really want to put my academics as the forefront in the beginning, because I don't think that's when all the extracurriculars hit. They hit in the middle where you're like, oh, I can switch this around. No. So that's why I'm like, I really want to just take that so serious. And then let the pieces fall in what makes sense with my academic structure intact, because that's what I'm prioritizing now, like seriously prioritizing.
I agree.
You know, and then the rest fall in place. And if you don't make sense in this puzzle piece, apologies, but you're out.
Period.
And that's really how I want to set it up. Yeah. And I just want to say, like, I definitely agree with your sentiments, Lexi. Like, yeah, it's about to be a big girl semester. You know, we're going to make some tough decisions that may not feel like the best or the funnest to make, but you know it's going to be the best for your longevity and your long term. And that's just what really matters, to prioritize that and make that for us. Because if we're not going to do it, no one's going to make it for us.
I agree. I didn't talk about this, but y'all, I feel like everybody like thinks like whenever we talk about the UK, any of my friends, like I'm so excited for you to go have fun, to go do this. Oh, but I'm also
Okay, this is such a bad time to interrupt you, but I just wanted to say I'm also very happy for you going to the UK. I just haven't expressed that at all. I feel like every time Lexi's just super happy, and I'm like obviously very happy for you, but I think it's because I've already expressed it a one and done. I feel like I've expressed everything when I did express it the first time, and it wasn't on radio, so that's why I don't have anything to say. That like those sentiments are still there, so I don't feel like repeating myself.
No, you're
But I
good.
just want you to know I am excited for you. Like I may not be expressing it, but
I'm
like,
not gonna lie, I don't believe you because every single time you bring it up, she be like, "You're going." I'm like, "You wanna come with me? Like, is that what this is giving?" No, I actually
also
do
like
you.
have attachment things too.
Yeah,
like I don't like,
which is why I don't read into it when you don't bring it up.
Yeah, it's a hard, like even like this is kind of off topic, like Isaiah leaving and stuff. Like I'm so sad.
Oh, that was your bro.
Very
much was your bro.
Isaiah is something
So
else.
many people are leaving. My advisor left.
Oh gosh.
I'm steady. Are you crying?
Yeah.
Don't. This is gonna be the last time I see y'all.
Yeah.
Jeanine, that might make me cry.
This is gonna be the last
people
episode
leaving
at once.
You know what it is? I really feel like it's because I'm the one who always leaves people, and now people are leaving me. It's just so
really
crazy.
hitting you.
Yes, it's just like I'm still here and y'all leaving me. Like BFFR. It's
not BFFR, but I'll be back. Oh, Isaiah won't be back, but I'll be back.
Isaiah will visit.
Isaiah will visit.
I don't think. Okay, the thing is, I mean, for you, it doesn't really apply to you, but for most people, specifically faculty and stuff, like when they leave, for me, it just I don't feel like it'll ever be the same.
Yeah, it won't. Let's be honest, it won't.
And like visiting, okay, cool. I just feel like revisiting people who leave is kind of like rehashing old memories and trying to relive something that isn't there no more. And I just don't really do that. So like even though like, for example, my advisor leaving because he's like already gone and stuff, I'm like, as much as I would love to reach out to you and talk to you and stuff, the fact that I know you're not going to play like that role in my life no more or be able to have such a huge role. That's basically what I just said. I'm repeating myself. But you won't be playing that huge role anymore. I just don't feel like the need to like entertain you being here anymore because it's just like not real. It's me holding on to something that doesn't exist essentially. And I don't need to be doing that. That's how I see it. And it might be harsh. I don't know. I feel like it's so harsh to tell somebody that. But I'm just like, for the sake of me, like I just can't do that. So it's just like really just making peace, letting it go. Like if you come, hi, hello, you know, I'll cherish it, but I'm just not going to entertain it because for longevity wise, it just doesn't make sense.
That's valid. I was saying about the UK thing because it's the knee stretchers for me because I don't really talk about this aspect of it, but I'm genuinely scared.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, and it's so funny because when I brought that up to somebody, they were like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah," because like at the end of the day, y'all know how much I struggled during, was it the last couple of months of my sophomore year? Because that's when OnBlack started, and we talked about like mental health and stuff. Think about this. It's going to be a completely new environment, completely new accent that I got to adapt to, people I got to adapt to. Like, I don't know these people. And, like, the point is to go and have fun and everything. But, like, still, I'm now becoming used to, like, having friends that I can, like, kind of talk to and chill with and, like, having, like, that sense of some type of community. I'm going to be uprooted from that to go to the UK, to go make that kind of a community, then be uprooted from that to come back to this community. How much are y'all going to change in the 9 months that I've been gone? Like, am I going to recognize y'all when I get back?
I'm going to have hair.
Is that what? Oh, yeah, you have hair. Bye.
I don't know. You might not recognize me. I'll have hair.
But, like, no, seriously, like, is there still going to be, like, a space for Jeanine?
Of course. The Jeanine space will never be filled.
I 100% do believe so, because it goes back to the core of each bond. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can relate to this because that's basically my life. Hamsata's life is essentially what you're about to experience for a little bit, if to put it in your perspective, right? From where I'm coming from, right? In the sense of people definitely do change, but it's like acknowledging that change and acknowledging the person they are. And usually when people change, you can see if it's in a good or bad for you and still being able to align with the friendship. Do you know what I mean? And usually when people do change, it's never anything that you can't still be friend with, but it's just something you're going to have to learn. You know, maybe like relearning the friendship, the person, and the dynamics
so
of
new.
it.
That is
It
so
is,
new.
and yeah, it's going to be a journey for
Yeah.
sure. I know for me, like me and my cousin, I guess is a good example because we stayed friends throughout all my moves and stuff with me being near her or not, because when we were younger we didn't have phones, so it was like catching up, new person, you know what I mean? And for some reason our core, I mean, we are family, so that might be our core, but still a friendship core, you know, it's still as strong, hopefully, usually.
Yeah.
And that usually is like the anchor of it. So
yeah.
it might be some new leaves, some new branches on there, but it's the same tree. Trunk,
Real.
Period.
Might be some new branches, but it's the same tree. And honestly,
And as long as you can rock with them new branches, because sometimes people move on for the better, but it's not for you, you know? And sometimes you just got to respect that, acknowledge that, and be like, hey, maybe we can't be friends no more, or maybe we can be friends from a distance. But usually, like, you're not going to be gone for like a whole 5 years for something
that's
that
what I was
dramatic.
gonna say.
Crazy.
You
I
know
don't
what I
think,
mean?
like, I see no problem, especially because I've been through not the full on move, but I have, but like just even moving schools and not seeing friends and like like honestly, if we're able to like catch up on FaceTime once every 2 months,
That's good enough for me, to be
bro,
honest.
we're gonna come back. It's gonna be like nothing ever happened.
Like, as long as we have like our little FaceTime, and that's really enough for me in a friendship, to be honest.
Me too.
It's just to talk to the person. That's
yeah,
really
but
it.
it's like, will y'all call though?
Yes.
Well, well, end of discussion. Let me stop.
No,
Not
like,
even
end of
like
discussion,
just,
I think
but like,
my okay.
like, will I be as in tune with y'all's life that like?
You won't be. That's
That's
just kind
the
of the reality. You
thing.
won't be
Yeah.
because you're not here. The tune will never be
Damn,
exact.
thank you. No, but I know what you mean.
But like, you're gonna still be in tune with us. Do you know what I mean? So like, you're still gonna know what our philosophies are still like, where our heads are at, what our thought processes will be. You know, what new relations or developments have occurred, and things of that sort. So you'll still be in tune with us, but like fully, it's just not.
Probably not.
Yeah, because.
But honestly, I still think you'll be in tune like quite a bit.
No,
especially because how we plan, like how we're starting to talk about how next semester's going. Like, we're supposedly going to be very book heavy.
Yes,
That leaves a lot less room
can
for
we
other
hold
things.
each other accountable too, please? Like, me and Jeanine already made a little pact.
We all three of us making the pact.
Yeah,
Come
but
on,
I'm just
Lexi.
saying, now
get closer.
Now it's the three of us.
Now it's all three of us.
We gonna be on our academics this year. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that we're like, hey, have you checked up on your books? Is this work really worth your time?
Not the book
like I
chasing
said
us.
early on the other, like I refuse to have the same semester I had this semester.
I don't think I'm
absolutely
serious
refuse.
about it as you are. Like, I'm saying this, but I really feel like I need to be serious about
Then
it.
I'll hold you accountable
I'm not a
because I
serious person also.
refuse.
Like, I'm not there yet.
I think you're not as serious with it because your problem is not the academics. I think your problem, honestly, as an outsider looking in, I could be wrong. I think you take on too much outside of school, and that leaves you. I think you're like me. I think you just take on too much outside of school. So what I think you need to do is not focus more on academics. I think you need to start to cut down or give less of yourself outside of school, and then the academics will naturally flow in.
That is so real also, too. That is so real. Because I feel like my rest, I said earlier, was like so important for me. For me to restore also takes up a lot of time. So putting all that energy in, I don't have much left for school. I really don't. So I really just like can't say those words.
Is there anything that you're doing now that you know you can let go of
like
next
just
semester?
let something go.
So, so funny. I had the same conversation before. So I did some things for extra credit. So like there's 2 things I already know I'm leaving away.
Okay.
Like I did an externship. That's basically like having an internship during the semester.
Yeah.
And mine was from like September to November. That's basically the majority of the semester. That's what really took up most of my time. I did a whole project, like you guys saw like the end result of it, but there's so much more before it that I was working on during the school year, and that was like an extra academic, you know what I mean? And it had its own like commitments and so forth, and then there were like meetings and stuff. Then I had other meetings for classes I was taking, because that was like, oh, you should do this because this is extra credit, or you should do this because it's your major and stuff. And I realized this may be for your major, but are you ready to take on those commitments of your major?
Right.
And I realized I'm not. I'm not.
I mean, you're just a sophomore. Like, dang.
That's what I'm saying. And like the thing is, I always like to be ahead. Like there's a thing in me, I like to be ahead. I don't like doing everything with the mass majority figuring out. Like, no, if I have the ability to, I want to be ahead. I want to get things in and out. You know what I'm. But also take in your own time, take in your own speed and your own capabilities. And I just feel like that was something I neglected, because I guess I never saw how much I was fully able to balance. So now I know my limit, you know?
Yeah.
You don't know your limit until you get there.
That's good.
True.
That's good that you know your limit now.
Yeah.
And honestly, even that externship, like I think that will relieve a lot of
because I know
extraness
that
off of you.
externship, I feel like really was a lot more than what I thought it was going to be, for real.
Yeah. Well, that was a great episode.
It was.
I feel good about that.
Took my little nap.
You did take your little nap.
That is so good. I took a nap in the middle of the episode, y'all.
That's so funny to me. Like,
For
I'm keeping
8
it in.
minutes.
I'm keeping it in because that was just too funny to me. You waking up, so what have we been talking about? That's so funny to me.
Took a nap, fell down, like,
Right, you had a lot happen to you this episode.
It's a balance. I mean,
That was OnBlack. Thank you for listening.
thank you. It's so funny.
Ooh, the synchronization. Yeah, we'll have the questions posted. I can't even remember all we talked about, but anyways.
Forgiveness. Do you forgive yourself?
Do you forgive yourself? Is there people you're holding forgiveness you're not forgiving?
you believe people don't
also-
deserve forgiveness.
Yeah.
I feel like we also talked about a little bit about your commitments. You know, what
Yeah.
commitments are you neglecting? What commitments do you want to put at the forefront? And what changes do you want to make for yourself? Because with forgiveness comes a little bit of change, you know?
Wow, that
Happy
was
New
beautiful.
Year.
That. But we'll see y'all next time. Don't forget to follow the Instagram OnBlack.podcast.
I feel like we are.
OnBlack has been working since summer.
Yo, like
20.
nonstop. Like we never took a
21.
break. Yo, we be in here for. I don't think y'all know. Like we be in here. We be deep in here. Like we talking about some. It's only gonna be 4 hours.
Bruh.
5, 6, 7. Like it starts getting long. But either way, we'll. We will see
Hamsata's got her
y'all.
feet in the air. Yeah, we'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, what I was going to say was that I didn't want to answer it.
You want to tell it real quick?
Yeah.
Not really. That feels like a lot of thinking.
Okay, never mind.
I really want an island for real. I think that's number one. I don't want an island. I don't want to be out here. Maybe I'll be a contributor. I think that's my spot for real.
I'm done. That's valid.